In Libra season, we're asked to look at the relationship between ourselves and others. It's really the first sign in the zodiac that takes us beyond the self. And so here at the beginning of Libra season, we're asked to consider, who are we most likely to put before ourselves? Is it our parents? Is it our partner? Is it our partners? Is it our child? Is it our dog? That's probably my answer. Is it groups of people who have been oppressed and marginalized in ways that we haven't been? What are we doing for a more just future? And are we striving to support justice for people who are different or like us, actively or passively? Because Libra is the cardinal air sign, and so it is an initiating sign. It does start things, it starts relationships, it starts conversations. And so that's what we're going to be asked to do during Libra season as well. So the thing about it is that justice is not always what is just. And I think that we know this. Here in the United States, judges are meant to be impartial as they decide what is fair, but here we know that judges often have ideological beliefs, and that is actually a huge reason why they get into the positions that they are in. The idea that any human can be completely impartial is a flawed one. And we all bring our past experiences, our thought patterns, our internal motivations and desires to every decision that we make. These are facts. But we can open ourselves up to new perspectives, and that allows us to see more directly the experiences of others who are different from us. And that's part of what friendship and building strong relationships is all about, seeing outside of ourselves. This Libra season, we are going to have some big challenges that are going to come up in a time when harmony and balance between everyone is of the utmost desire. We should be mindful not to let this desire for harmony outweigh a real need for conflict. Sometimes a good fight is necessary so that everyone's voices can be heard. The balance between the past and the future could weigh on us at this time, or at least be something that we're very aware of. And we know that the future isn't going to look like the past, no matter where we're at with how we feel about that. We need to be asking ourselves if we're so attached to an old idea of what's in alignment for us that we can't see that something doesn't fit anymore, or that it might not even be a viable option at this point in time. The struggle between letting go of an old way and stepping into a new way, like it has been all year, is going to keep us on our toes this Libra season. The sun enters Libra on September 22nd, and Libra season is all about connecting with others. Here on the first day of Libra season, we might feel called to gather around a fire in the late fall or the early fall air and commune with our friends. Conversations about the future will fill our spaces, and we might feel tentatively optimistic as we take into consideration what has already happened and what we believe. There is a desire for independence in the air, and with Vesta and Venus conjunct in Leo, we want to join together with people who we can agree on about the future. We feel like we want to let go of the past and step over the threshold into what's coming next. Mercury enters Scorpio on September 27th, and we want to get to the bottom of something, but our motivation and our energy are low. We're worried about the impacts of our efforts and if they'll be temporary. And because of that, our tempers might be a little bit short. It could be tempting to shoot a message out into the world, appealing to an audience of people who are like us and who agree with us, but we might regret what we say later when Mercury stations retrograde on October 13th. With Mars retrograde in Aries at this time, here right at the beginning of Libra season, our thoughts could be deep and internal. We could be deeply angry and use our words to express our frustrations. Some venting is warranted in the moment, but the long-term consequences of our words might not seem like an important thing to take into consideration. But when it comes to the people that we care about and admire, we're going to want to remember why we are committed to those relationships. On Tuesday, September 29th, Saturn stations direct, and Saturn stationed retrograde at about 2 degrees Aquarius on May 10th, which gave us room to restructure our approach. With Saturn direct in Capricorn, which is its own domicile, the effectiveness of our rules and systems might improve. Jupiter stationed direct on September 13th, and they are both in Capricorn. And so this combination could open up a little bit of tentative optimism about how we are approaching things. With Saturn stationing direct, we might decide to put some structure or additional structure in place to support our long-term ambitions. The massive changes happening all around us are definitely in our awareness still. We can't forget those, but we also have the moon in Pisces at this time, calling us back into our dreams and to the intentions that we set at the new moon in Virgo on September 17th. So it's important at this point in time to honor your small steps as you consider how you want to move forward. On October 1st, the full moon in Aries has Chiron, Mars, and Black Moon Lilith all coming together, which could potentially bring a healing ending if we are willing to go within and face beliefs that are preventing us from speaking our truth. We have to find our own version of justice, that tricky word, once again, at this time. And I'm of the belief that only you can really heal you. Other people can give you tools to heal you, but you needn't give other people that power. You are the one who holds that power. Everything you need is right here with you to do that healing work. And at this full moon, the Venus is in the final degree of Leo and working harmoniously with the full moon to help us feel seen in a community of people who are like us. Through this, we can release internal narratives about how we need to conform and honor the truth of who we are. And it can be really healing on a deep and it could be kind of scary level. Venus enters Virgo the next day after the full moon. And here we want to go deeper in our relationships, but we're also tired and we might feel like we're missing details. On this day, the moon will also be in Aries, and we could feel like there isn't enough energy to do things right, or maybe there isn't enough support to do things the right way. And we feel like we need assistance from the people around us, but rather than asking for help, we might just throw our hands up and say, oh, I'll just do it. Venus in Virgo loves to be of service to the people around them by noticing small details and analyzing how they can show support. With Mercury in Scorpio conjunct the asteroid Juno, we could think about how to deepen our commitments, and we could consider deep and internal shifts that would better support our ability to work with others by looking at those deep details. We need to find a balance between helping and fixing to an unnecessary degree or getting too overly analytical about it. We end this second week of Libra season with Pluto stationing direct on October 4th. Pluto has, like Saturn, been retrograde, only Pluto has been retrograde since April 25th, holding back the decay and rebuilding of systems and structures that create our material reality. The energy and motivation to overcome these systems will be activated at this time, but not everyone will be in a position to support. The moon will be in Taurus on this day as well. Indulgence as a way to navigate change and chaos could lead to feelings of shame or negative self-talk. You could be really downright mean to yourself, reacting to your inner monologue. It's really important to remember at this time that sometimes we all have to do things that we need to do just to survive. On October 9th, we have the last quarter moon in Cancer. This sensitive time is like a dark wave, emotionally conflicting and making us feel like we need to take strong action. We are embodying resilience as we descend into challenges and conflicts on a collective level. Individually, we could create space for adventure or internal expansion as an escape from all of the noise. This is a time in which great music and art could be created. On Saturday, October 10th, we have an exact square between Mars retrograde and Pluto in Capricorn. Individual reactions will conflict with strict policies, resulting in changes to rules. On October 11th, there is an exact square also between the Sun in Libra and Jupiter in Capricorn. Internal communication and relationships will challenge the growth of rules, restrictions, and the systems that create boundaries. So during this week in general, there's a fair amount of conflict that will be happening. And it's also a period of time when we might not be able to clearly see the future. We know that we are moving into or descending into something different, but we're not exactly sure what that looks like at this time. And so it could feel a little uncomfortable. On October 13th, Mercury stations retrograde in Scorpio. We are rethinking our reactions and examining past beliefs to get a better understanding of how we need to move forward. It might feel like no action or way of thinking is really the right way. Unexpected medical or health challenges are a focus of conversation at this time. Mercury entered Scorpio earlier in Libra season on September 27th, and it will be retrograde in Scorpio until October 27th, and then it will ingress back into Libra, still retrograde. Mercury will then station direct in Libra on November 3rd, around the middle of the day on Election Day here in the United States. So I live in Iowa, and I can say that we know how the Iowa caucus went when Mercury was just in its sign of fall and shadow period. So a Mercury station on Election Day is definitely going to make things interesting. Mercury entered its shadow on September 23rd, so we can look back to that period of time to also give us some indication about events that will play out during the post Mercury stationing direct period of time as well. On October 15th, the Sun in Libra will make an exact square to Pluto in Capricorn, once again highlighting a weakened force discussing details about rules and regulations regarding individual action. We have a new moon in Libra on October 16th. This new moon is a time for revising and editing our intentions. We might feel challenged by the boundaries of reality, and if we don't have the material results we hoped for, we could be quite hard on ourselves. Use the details that you have available to you to assess how you want to proceed for the future. Go deeper into your own thoughts, the language that you use to motivate yourself. How do you talk to yourself about the way that you move through your life? Where can you be more kind to yourself and extend the kindness that you are willing to give to others to yourself? And we end this whole Libra season with another square from the Sun to Saturn in Capricorn just before the Sun enters Scorpio on October 22nd. So this was a theme, all of these squares over the course of Libra season that we're going to have to navigate. And these squares might not impact you that much on an individual level, but on a collective level, they will definitely make a big difference. And it happens at multiple points throughout Libra season, so it's not necessarily something that we can escape. We have to try to move forward with what we want to do and what really makes us happy and fulfilled, but also navigate changing circumstances. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed the Libra season forecast. You can read the whole forecast at my website, ashgravity.com, or subscribe to my weekly email newsletter where I give you weekly updates on what's going on with the astrology.